So this chapter of Bali Maharaj surrendering his life, this talks about what happened after Lord Vamandeva expanded his 2 feet to expand the higher and lower planetary systems. And Vamandeva asked for the third step. And Bali Maharaj, what does he do after that? So the first section describes about how Bali Maharaj being very much afraid of not keeping up his promise and being defamed for not keeping up his promise. He actually says, offers his body to Lord Vamanadeva to keep his third foot upon. Then he actually remembers his grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, who was a devotee of the Supreme Lord and who has surrendered everything for the Supreme Lord. And Bali Maharaj prays to the Supreme Lord, saying that what is the use of all this material prosperity which I have? So better I be like my grandfather. So Vishnu, being pleased by Bali Maharaj's attitude, he offers benedictions to Bali Maharaj, saying that I will protect you. So you go to the Sutala planet and then you be residing there along with your demonic associates, and I will personally come and stay with you. So and then he'll say that whoever transgresses your order, they will be punished by my chakra. So that's what this whole chapter is talking about. The first section is about how Bali Maharaj considers all the points of what is the repercussion of not keeping up to his promise. So he offers his head. Sukadeva Goswami is continuing the narration. Sri Sukha Uvacha. Evam viprakrito rajan valirbhagavata sura vidyamano abhinnatma pratyaha viklavam vachaha. So he's saying, evam viprakrito rajan. So viprakrita means having been put into difficulty. Valir Bhagavata Asura. Bhagavata Viprakrito. So Balihi Bhagavata Viprakrito Asuraha. Valir Asuraha Bhagavata Viprakrito. So Bali Maharaj, who is the demon, the king of the demons, he was being put into difficulty by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vidyamanapi abhinnatma. So Vidyamana, he was Vidyamanaha api, although he was situated in a very uncomfortable position. Vidyamano api abhinnatma. So Bhinnatma means one who has disturbed body and mind. Bhinna is too difficult. Different. Bhinna means different. Bhinna Atma. Bhinna Atma means differently minded. So Bali Maharaj was Abhinna Atma. he was not disturbed by the body and mind. Pratyaha. So pratyaha means aha means speak. Pratyaha means reply. So pratyaha aviklavam. Viklavam means contamination or also disturbance. So aviklavam is undisturbed, and vachaha means words. Saying, although being put into difficulty by the Supreme Personality of Godhead's activities, he was nevertheless undisturbed because and he spoke the following words. Pratyaha, he replied. Sri Balirivacha. Yadyuttama sloka bhavan mameritam vacho yalikam suravarya karomritam tanna bhavet pralambanam padam tritiyam gurusishni me nijam. Yadi uttama shloka bhavan yadi uttama shloka bhavan mameritam mama iritam vacho yalikam suravarya manyate karomi ritam tanna bhavet pralambanam padam tritiyam gurusishni me nijam. Yadi manyate, if you think, if you consider that, Uttama Shloka, that Supreme Lord who is praised by choice poetry, if you consider that my words are Jalika, means my words of Jalika, Mama Vachaha Iritam, my promised words are Jalika means also contamination or false. So if you consider that my promise is false, if you consider that, Karami Rutam, that I will make it true. How is that? Tanna Bhavet Pralambanam. So that promise, na bhavet pralambanam, that will not become a cheating. How? Padam tritiyam kuru shirshni me nijam. Place your third foot upon my own head. Place your lotus feet upon my head. Bali could understand Vamanadeva, he could understand the pretense of Lord Vamanadeva, that he has come as a person who has taken side of the demigods, and he as foretold by his own spiritual master Shukracharya, that he will be taking away everything Bali possesses. Now the same has come true. He could understand, and he was well informed what will happen also. So nevertheless he was undisturbed. He was saying, although the Lord's promise was to cheat him, Bali Mahārāja took pleasure in understanding that the Lord's cheating is also actually for the purpose of benefiting the devotee. to glorify the devotee. It is Prabhupada is saying that it is said that God is good, and this is a fact. Whether he cheats or rewards, he is always good. Therefore, he is addressing the Lord as Uttama Sloka. You are always praised by selected verses, Uttama Sloka. So he's saying, you came disguised on behalf of demigods to cheat me, saying that you want only 3 pieces of land, but later you expand your body in such a way that you cover the entire creation within 2 steps. Because you are working on the behalf of your devotees, you do not regard this as cheating. Never mind. So I cannot be considered as a devotee. Never mind, I am considered as a devotee. You think that you are favoring your devotees by cheating me, and you consider that I am not your devotee? Okay, never mind. Nonetheless, because although you are the husband of fortune, you are Sriyapati, and you are coming in front of me to beg, so I must satisfy you by my best ability. So please do not think that I wanted to cheat you. I must fulfill my promise. So Bali Mahārāja was thinking, for me to have been able to give you charity of the entire creation, that means entire 3 worlds, I should be greater than that possession. The possessor of the possession is greater than the possession. So, so I am there. Although whatever my possessions were taken away by you, the possessor is still there. So you can place your 3rd step upon me. Vivemināham nirayat padachyuto napasabandhad vyasanaad duratyayat naivartha krachrad bhavato vinigrahat asadvadad vrajamit vijayatha Vivemināham nirayat padachyuto. So I am not afraid of going to hell, being deprived of my position, padachyuto, falling from my position. I am the Lord of the 3 worlds now, and now I have to go to hell. So I am not afraid of that, because I have lost all my positions and I have to go to hellish planets. I am not afraid of that. Napasa bandhat vyasanaad duratyayat. So, and I have been treated like an animal by being bound, nor from the distress, which is unbearable for me. Varna pasha, it is giving so much distress for me. I am not worried about that. Naiva artha krichrat bhavato vinigraha. Artha krichrat means na eva artha krichrat. Artha means wealth. Artha krichrat means very less wealth. So I am not afraid to live in scarcity of money or in poverty. Bhavataha vinigraha. Or from the punishment you are giving me now. As much as asadhuvadat prajamidvajayatha. Asadhuvadat. So sadhuvada means good words, and asadhuvada means bad words. So asadhuvada vrisham. So here asadhuvada is what? So people will talk about Bali Maharaj that he is not able to fulfill his promise. That is actually asadhuvada. It's a defaming. So I am very much anxious, udvije. I am very much anxious of the defaming, infamy. I am going to get being called a cheater and not the upkeeper of my promise. So this troubles me more than any other physical or mental disturbances, which I am getting because of my present plight. He thought deeply about how to prevent being defamed. So Prabhupada is saying that the Lord has given good counsel to him. How to avert this defaming by offering his head. So it said that Narayana parasarve nakutascha na vibhyati swargapavarga narakeshu abhitulyata darsana. So the devotee of the Supreme Lord doesn't fear any material condition of life. As Chitraketu Maharaj, when he was on one day, he was the king of Vidyadharas, and he was roaming according to his desire with all the Vidyadhara women. And then suddenly, Mother Parvati curses him to become a Brahma Rakshasa. Nevertheless, Chitraketu Maharaj, being the greatest devotee of the Supreme Lord Sankarshan, he took it as a blessing upon him. So that's when he recited this verse. Narayana parasarve nakutascha vipyati sargapavarga narakeshu abhitulyartha darshana. So who is a Narayana para devotee, who is always absorbed in Narayana, nakutascha vipyati. He will never fear any condition of material existence. Sarga apavarga narakeshu. So either it is heaven, hell, or even liberation. Apitulyartha darshana. He will consider all the same because he is always absorbed. He is always absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. He is always absorbed in association, in the service of the Supreme Lord Krishna by dint of that remembrance of the Supreme Lord. So that is actually Krishna consciousness. So, so this is a parameter by which we can actually measure our advancement in Krishna consciousness. So the external conditions will remain. The external conditions may be inevitable according to our karma or whatever. Many a times they come as a result of our past misdeeds, or it can be happiness or it can be distress. So the external conditions will remain and they may not be averted. But what is that which has to transform in us is our approach, our response to the external situation. So, and this is what Bhagavatam is teaching through each and every page and every line. It gives the account of all the devotees who have actually gone through extremities in their lives, but they have made the choice of being connected always with the consciousness, with a conscious effort, uh, they have actually prioritized uh, their devotional service, their Krishna consciousness, uh, more than any other material aspect of their life. That's the reason we find them in the pages of Bhagavatam. Otherwise, the threefold miseries are common to all the living entities of this world. So, any living creature, uh, starting from the greatest creator of this universe, who is Lord Brahma, who is the first living being, gliding to the lowest creature in this world, maybe like a unicellular or a multicellular organism. Everything, everyone is subjected to the threefold miseries. There is no escape for anyone. So, what is it that actually differentiates between a great soul and a common soul and a conditioned soul? Is the choice one makes, the effort one takes to actually prioritize our connection with the Supreme Lord, to prioritize our effort uh, to actually please the Lord, to make our life as a sacrifice to the Supreme Lord, uh, to hold our connection to the Supreme Lord as the most cherished and the highest goal of life, more than anything else of this world. That actually is the differentiating factor between a great soul and a conditioned soul. The material conditions will be same for all, but the choice one makes is what it differentiates. Yeah. Now, Bali Maharaj here is teaching all of us, whether one may be Indra, whether one is a conqueror of Indra, who is the Lord of the three worlds. It doesn't matter. Material conditions can reverse at any point. One day, he was the greatest of all kings. He is the Lord of the three worlds. He has been revived from death. And the other day, he was humiliated in front of all his own men by being tied and defamed. But the internal switch is that by the association of pure devotees, he understood the real essence of life. He understood the real purpose of life. That it is actually the mercy of the Supreme Lord upon him to show the reality of this material world, which will anyway be inevitable at some point of time. Now, in this condition, he is kind of praising the Supreme Lord in a kind of sarcasm. He's saying, Pumsam shlakya tamam manye dandam arhat amarpitam yanmata pitana bhratra suhrudaschadisantihi Pumsam shlakya tamam manye dandam arhat amarpitam yamnamata pita bhratra suhrudaschadisantihi Pumsam shlakyatamam manye. I consider manye that, what do I consider? Pumsam shlakyatamam manye. I consider this is very glorious, as very praiseworthy, as most exalted. What is that which I consider as most praiseworthy. Dandam arhattam arpitam. This dandam, which you think is befitting me, arhattam arpitam. So arhattama is also said that here arhattama means worshipable. The, you are actually worshipable Supreme Lord, and your I consider your danda as very glorious, your punishment as very glorious. This kind of punishment has never been meted out but to anyone by uh, one's father, one's mother, one's father, one's brother, or any well-wisher, Adi Shanti. It is never offered. I say, generally, when a punishment is meted out to people, they become morose. It is a it is a situation where one has to actually repent or regret. But Bali Maharaj seems to be enjoying this punishment meted out by the Supreme Lord. He is thinking this is most praiseworthy, most glorious. This is the consciousness of a devotee. Tattenu kampam susamikshamaano bhunjana eva atmakritam vipakam. Hrudva goparbhir vedadan namaste jivetayo mukti pade sadai bhak. Brahmaji is praying to Lord Krishna when he actually understood his actually he saw that he was considering himself the greatest living being in the universe. But when Lord Krishna shown how he actually expanded himself into the innumerable cohort boys, and all of them are Lord Vishnu's, from whom he emanated. So he felt so insignificant. I thought I am the creator of this universe. I am the chief architect of this universe. And here, the origin of the origins of myself is so great. I emanate from navel of Vishnu. And there are innumerable Vishnus here. And then not only innumerable Vishnus, the source of all innumerable Vishnus is Krishna. And I consider myself to be very intelligent than this Krishna, who is the source of all intelligence. And this is utterly foolish that I tried to test him. So he actually felt very, very, very insignificant in that and humiliated in one sense. I tried to actually test Krishna, but he tested me here. He is saying, he's shown me what is actually my trickery in front of his trickery. In front of his trickery, my trickery is like not even like a glow one. So, in that humiliable plight, Brahmaji is uttering this verse. He is glorifying the Lord, saying, Tatte anukampa, it is your mercy, it is your compassion upon me. And susamikshamana, bhunjana eva atmakritam vivakam. All these kinds of conditions which a devotee undergoes, adverse conditions which a devotee undergoes in his life is actually the compassion of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, the living entities, I may be thinking that I am in such a great position and I have nothing else to lament for. Uh, so I have nothing to worry for. In that comfortable position, he may not remember the Supreme Lord. There is no need to remember the Supreme Lord. So, out of mercy, the Lord actually reverses these conditions sometimes and makes the devotee forcibly remember, forcibly take shelter of the Supreme Lord. So that's the reason Brahmaji understood this reason of the Supreme Lord. Bali Maharaj understood this reason of the Supreme Lord. Tatte anukampa, susumikshana, bhunjana. And then what does he think? That bhunjana eva atmakritam vipaka. So this vipaka, paka means item one has cooked. Vipaka, something which is very untasty, untasteful, distasteful. This preparation has been made by me. Atmakritam vipakam. I only have prepared this stuff and bhunjan, and I am eating that. I am actually and undergoing the reaction for my past misdeeds. Atmakritam vipakam. So, what is the recourse for me now? That recourse is Hrudvag Vapurbir Vidadan Namaste. So, I will offer my obeisances to you with body, first with my heart, Hrut, and then I will glorify you with my words, Hrut, Vag, and then not only do I think about you in my heart, not only do I praise you with my words, but I shall offer my everything that I have, including my body, in your service. Hritvag Vapurbir, Vitadan Namaste, I bow down to you. In this condition of life, in this frame of mind, then one becomes Jiveta, Jivetayo, Muktipade, Sadaya Bhak. If one can do this in all walks of life, surrender everything with heart, with one's mind, and through one's words, and through his body to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then liberation will become his rightful claim. So liberation, we struggle so much for to get liberation. The sages, they prepare for liberation for lifetimes after lifetimes. But if one can actually surrender everything to the Supreme Lord, then liberation, mukti mukulitanjali, sevate asma. So the Mukti Devi, the Devi who offers liberation, who is the personified liberation, she will stand with folded hands. Mukti Mukulitanjali Sevyate Asmat. So she will stand by the side of a devotee to offer him liberation. So this is the consciousness of a devotee. So, therefore, the devotee considers that the situation one is in, the punishment, the so-called punishment, offered by the Lord directly or through material circumstances as the mercy of the Supreme. So this switch, this transformation of the heart can happen only through the process of devotional service and not by any other process like karma, jnana and yoga. So this is the beauty of devotional service. The transformation of the heart. We can acquire so much knowledge, we can accomplish so much in this world, and we can accomplish the highest siddhis to control this universe. But the actual pleasure, the actual knowledge, and actual accomplishment is in service of the Supreme Lord, in connection with the Supreme Lord, in understanding our real position as the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. That actually is the highest bliss one can get, which is very, very different, and which is very, very much greater than what we can even perceive of, we can conceive of. That can be achieved only when we actually place in activities of our real constitutional position, that is in service of the Supreme Lord. And in that condition, the so-called punishment will also become a blessing. So that is what Bali Mahārāja is saying in this verse. Tvam nunam asuranam na paroksha paramo guru yo no nekamadan madannanam vibramsham chakshuradishat. He's saying, Tvam nunam asuranam. So, indeed, your lordship, naha asurana, for us demons, as we are, parokshaha paramaha guruhu. You are the indirect guru, spiritual master for all of us. Yaha, your lordship, aneka mada andhanam. We are madandas, but we are not only madandas, but we are aneka madandas. So we are binded in many ways by material opulence, and vibramsam chakshuha adisat. So you have destroyed our false prestige, and you have given us the real eye of knowledge by putting us in this condition. Since your lordship is indirectly the greatest well-wisher of the demons, Asurana Guruhu. So the Daitya Guru is Shukracharya, but Bali Mahārāja is saying that you are our indirect spiritual master. Why? The spiritual master gives instruction to overcome difficulty in life. So you are actually putting us in a condition to actually destroy our entanglements to this world. We are bound in this world, falsely thinking ourselves to be the controllers here and falsely thinking that we are enjoying here. You have come to us as a well-wisher to cut off these feelings, to cut off these material entanglements, and then liberate us from this material existence. Therefore, you are our spiritual master. So you act for our best welfare by posing yourself as our enemy. Because demons like us always aspire for big false prestige. By chastising us, you give us the eyes by which we can actually see you. We can actually see the right path. So Prabhupada is saying, Bali Mahārāja is considering Lord Vishnu, Lord Vamana as the best and better friend to the demons than the demigods. So the Lord may be thinking, the Lord may be seen as the favorer of the demigods, but actually, the Lord is favoring the demons more than the demigods. Why? Because the demigods may gain material opulence by worshipping the Supreme Lord and by being on His side, but the demons are actually getting cessation of material existence itself uh, by uh, by getting the detachment from this material world, which actually could be the cause of liberation for them from this entanglement. So therefore, the Lord is the more better friend to the demons than to the demigods. So the in material world, the more one gets material possessions, the more one becomes blind to spiritual life. There will not be time for spiritual life. So this is the fact. So the Lord is acting as the well-wisher of the demons by depriving of their possessions, uh, uh, which they accrued and which they are falsely proud of. By false prestige, one is misguided. So the Supreme Lord takes away these possessions to actually favor the devotee. And especially so in the case of a devotee like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, of course, was never proud, but Bali Maharaj seems to have been proud. And then the Lord has come personally. The Lord actually personally intervenes in the lives of the greatest devotees to actually uh, put them on the right path so that they can pass the test uh, with flying colors, and then they serve as the example to other people, to the whole world. So Srila Prabhupada was also tested in his life in many ways. Prabhupada was very successful in his material career. Uh, he was uh, he was working as a manager in Bose Laboratories. That time in the British Raj, uh, in Bengal there are two pharmaceutical companies which were of, in fact, throughout India, they are very prominent. One is Bengal Chemicals and another is Bose Laboratories. Prabhupada was the manager in Bose Laboratories. Prabhupada's friend, Prabhupada's father, Gaur Mohan Dey, his friend was Bose. So he actually, when he understood that Prabhupada actually passed his degree, but in assent to Gandhiji's movement, he did not take up his degree. Bose voluntarily offered Prabhupada a career in his company, and Prabhupada was very, very successful in his job. Many people, in fact, started feeling envious of Prabhupada that he was such a successful manager. And he was doing very good. He was expanding the business like anything. But then the fate turned, and Prabhupada thought that he would actually get more time for Krishna consciousness after meeting Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakurji, Thakur Prabhupada. Prabhupada thought that he was not getting enough time for devotional service. So he wanted to run his own business. So he asked Bose that I will actually resign from my job and I will do something small. So myself, so that I will not work under anyone. Bose offered that, okay, you don't have to work for me, but you can do business with me. You take these medicines from me, and you can sell, and you can make money, and you can repay me the whatever amount you took. So that was the understanding. So for some time, Prabhupada was very successful, but Krishna arranged Prabhupada's life in such a way that sometimes he would be robbed, and overnight, all his money was taken away, and the accounts which he was operating, all of them fell for payment. So Prabhupada has to forcibly quit his company for his possessions. So he came back to square one. So this happened couple of times in Prabhupada's life, and whenever that situation would come in Prabhupada's life, so that verse in Bhagavatam used to come into his mind. Yasyaham anugrahnami harishye tadhanam chanai tato adhanam tyajantasya sajana dukkha dukkita. Yasyaham anugrahnami. So Lord is saying in Bhagavatam, whenever I become favorably disposed, especially favorably disposed to anyone, harishye tadhanam chanai. Gradually I will take away everything from him. Tato adhanam tyajantasya. So this swajanaha. So that adhanam, that pauper, people will actually cast off, will leave that pauper adhanaha tyajantasya and swajana dukkha dukkita. And swajana dukkha dukkita. So he will be awarded dukkha, misery, by his own men, and he will be distressed by that. So this is the mercy, this is the favor of the Lord sometimes, that he takes away the possessions of a devotee, material possessions of a devotee. Yasmin vairānubandhena vyūdhena vibhudetaraha bahavo lebire siddhim yam uhaikanta yoginaha tenam nigrahitosmi bhavata bhuri karmana baddhascha varunai pase nati vridena cha vyathe. Saying yasmin vairānubandhena vyūdhena vibhudetaraha bahavo lebire siddhim yam haikanta yogina. Saying many demons who were continuously inimical towards you finally achieved perfection of great mystic yogis. Yasmin vaira anubandhena. Vaira means enmity. Vaira anubandha. By being fixed, by being attached to you as their enemy, vyudhena, firmly fixed intelligence. They have their intelligence fixed in you firmly. Vibhuda itaraha. Vibhuda means demigods. So vibhuda itaraha means other than the demigods or demons. Bahavaha, many of them, they actually siddhim lebire, they attained perfection. Yam, which uha, it is well known, ekanta yoginaha. So that siddhi is the cherished goal of ekanta yogis, greatest mystic yogis, successful yogis. Tena aham nigrihitaha asmi. So that I have achieved now. Nigrihitaha means although I am punished here, although I am punished, nigrihitaha asmi, tena aham, for me, I bhavata bhuri karmana, your urukrama, your bhuri karmana, by your wonderful acts, I have achieved that. Baddhascha varune pasir na ativride na cha vyathe. So although I am being bound by the pasha of Varuna, the ropes of Varuna, na ativride, I am not ashamed of this. Vrida valoka. Ruchirasmita Valgu Jalpai. The ladies, the queens of uh, Lord Krishna used to cast Vridavaloka, that glances with shy. So I am not shy here to actually, I am not shyful, I am not ashamed of being in this humiliated condition. Nacha ati vyathe, nacha vyathe, nor am I suffering in this condition. So Bali Maharaj is appreciating the mercy of the Supreme Lord not only upon him, but also all other demons who the Lord has delivered in the past. Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana. These people have actually, in the guise of enmity towards the Supreme Lord, they have actually fixed their consciousness on the Lord as their enemy. So they attain such exalted position, they attain liberation, which is not easily available for the greatest yogis in many, many lifetimes of India. So Bali Maharaj is considering that mercy of the Supreme Lord on the demons as very great. So thus Bali Maharaj could understand that the Lord has some hidden purpose in punishing him. So consequently, he was neither happy nor ashamed because of his awkward position. पितामहो मे भवदीय सम्मता प्रह्लाद आविष्कृत साधुवाद भवद्विपक्षेण विचित्र वैशसं सम्प्रापितस्तं परमस्वपित्रा. So he is taking the example of his grandfather here, Prahlad Maharaj. Pitamaha me bhavadiya sammataha. My Pitamaha, my grandfather, is your approved devotee. Your recognized devotee. Who is that? Prahlada Maharaj. Avishkruta sadhuvadaha. He is being famous and celebrated everywhere as a devotee. Sadhuvadaha. Bhavad vipakshena. Simply going against you, vichitra vaishasam, inventing different kinds of harassment, samprapitaha, suffered from you, paramaha, the supreme shelter, swapitra, by his own father. Although he has been harassed in many ways by his own father, still he remained faithful to you, taking shelter of your lotus feet. So Prabhupada is saying, although a pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj is harassed circumstantially in many ways, he nevertheless give up the shelter of the Supreme Lord to take shelter of anyone else. Now, in this world, we actually try to seek shelter of something, get happiness from something or someone. But if it doesn't work, then the natural tendency is give up. My husband is not good, so let us give up. My wife is not good, let me give her up. My job is not good, let me switch. So we are actually constantly changing our shelters in this world. We are actually worried about our experience in life. We are worried about how much enjoyment we are getting in life. So we are always prone to make the choice of getting rid of misery and accepting happiness. So because we are always in search of happiness, and this world is full of misery, and we attribute our happiness and distress to the things and the beings of this world. We are actually shifting our shelter to one form, one person to another to other. So, however, the beauty of devotional service is the mind of the devotee is hooked to the lotus feet of the Lord, as the fish is hooked when hooked in the water. So it can never free itself. So similarly, once the devotee takes up the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet, and from his mind he offers his everything to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, he can actually never deviate, can go anywhere else for shelter other than the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord himself. So that is the beauty of a pure devotee, and that is the beauty of devotional service. So although the situations may be seemingly compelling and also enticing the devotee away from the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the devotee always makes a conscious choice of not taking the shelter of anyone else, anything else other than the Supreme Lord and the Supreme devotional service to his lotus feet. So, examining the life of Prahlad Maharaj, we can see how severely he has been harassed by his own father, Hiranyakashipu. Yet he did not even divert his attention from the Lord, even to the smallest extent. So, Bali Maharaj, being fortunate enough to we have been in connection with such an exalted devotee of the Supreme Lord, is carrying forth the same mood of surrender to the Supreme Lord's lotus feet and not getting deviated by any external material circumstances in his life. Kim atmanena jahati yontataha kim atmanena jahati yontataha kim riktaharehi sajanakhya dasyuhvi kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhutaya martyasya gehai kimaha ihayusho vyayaha. So he's saying, what is the use of this material body, which automatically leaves its owner at the end of life? And what is the use of all one's family members who are actually plunderers, taking away the money that is useful for the service of the Lord in spiritual opulence? So, what is the use of a wife? She is only the source of increasing material conditions. And what is the use of family, home, country, and community? Attachment for them merely wastes the valuable energy of one's lifetime. Saying, in a sense, Bali Maharaj is indicating here is what is the use of everything external here, and what is the use of all these external conditions and external attachments here? Better to surrender wholesale unto the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. He's saying, Prabhupada is saying here, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma suchaha. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that surrender unto me and give up all varieties of manodharmas, varieties of other religion. And the supreme dharma is to only worship, surrender unto me. So, a common man cannot appreciate such a state. because he thinks that during his lifetime, his family, society, country, body, and relatives are everything. Because these are the sources of one's enjoyment. Why should one give up any one of them and take shelter of the Supreme Lord? He thinks. But the behavior of personalities like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj uh, is otherwise. We understood that surrender is the right action for the intelligent person. Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Lord Vishnu against the will of his father. Prahlad would have just said, Om Hiranyakashipaya Namaha, as the whole world is saying, but he would never do that. So, similarly, Bali Maharaj took shelter of Vamandev against the will of his spiritual master. Shukracharya told what will happen. The same thing has happened. So Bali Maharaj explains that the body is the center of all material activities. But this is also a foreign element. Even though we want to keep the body fit and helpful for our activities, the body cannot continue eternally. So it has to fall at some point of time. Although I am soul and internal, after using the body for some time, I have to give up this body anyway and accept another body. So one must know that if he uses the body for any other purpose other than devotional service, he is simply wasting time. Because as soon as the time comes, the body will leave. We are interested in society, friendship, and love, but what are they? Those in the garb of friends and relatives merely plunder the hard-earned money of the bewildered soul. Everyone is affectionate towards his wife and is attached to her. But what is a wife? Wife is actually Stri. Stri means one who expands the material condition. If a person who lives without a wife, his material conditions are very less expensive. As soon as one marries and is connected with his wife, the material necessities increase. We see this in this world. Pumsa striya maithuni bhavamaitam tayor mitho pradaya grandhimahu ata gruha kshetra sutapta vittair janasya moho yamaham mamet. So, the attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases his illusions. And thinks in terms of eye and mind. Human life is meant for self-realization, not for increasing unwanted things. Actually, a wife increases unwanted things. One's lifetime, one's home, and everything one has, if not properly used in the service of the Lord, are all sources of material conditions of perpetual suffering under the threefold miseries. Unfortunately, there is no institution in human society for education on this aspect. People are kept in darkness about the goal of life, and thus there is a continuous struggle for existence. We speak of struggle for existence and survival of the fittest, but in this world no one survives. For no one is free in the material conditions. So this is the fact of life. So as much as the consciousness is there for enjoyment, as much as the man thinks that he can enjoy the woman, and the woman thinks that he can enjoy with the man, and who can supply her all the possessions. So this is the not. So the field of activity expands, the field of enjoyment expands. It first of all it will start with a house, then land, then we have to share this with so many other people, then friends, relatives, everyone will come. And then we have to show our prestige, we have to maintain our status quo. So many things will expand. And then the children will come. We have to maintain them. So this is not to say that one shall not do all these activities. This may be inevitable for every jiva soul. But the reality is that the reality will remain the reality whether it is accepted by anyone or not. That the chance for getting entangled is very much there in a householder life. So, how one has to conduct one's householder life in a way that he actually can be there and not be there. That is the art of work. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. So that is the expertise with which one has to deal with. It's like playing with a sword. If you are inattentive, it will cut and bleed. But if we are very attentive, it can serve the purpose. So it's like a knife. You can use it in many purposes, but if you are not very expert, then it can harm us only. So this Bali Maharaj can understand that all these material possessions are like these swords, which can actually cause harm to the real existence of the soul in connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the eternal servant of the Supreme Lord. This can deviate one from the goal of one's life and get that soul entangled in material existence perpetually, forever. So this possible calamity is there with material wealth. So Bali Maharaj is saying that what is the use of all these material possessions? You have come to take us. This is a great favor upon me. That's what he's saying. So we'll continue this our narration tomorrow. I think we have gone overboard. So I think if we have one question, some pressing question we will take. Otherwise, we will part for the day because it's already late. So I think we can close now. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.